What's up, guys? Got a different game today, featuring my Rain team from the NCPL series. I'm not entirely sure if I did upload this game, and if I did, when I did. But I figure I might as well actually make it known to myself right now that this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go ahead and upload it right now. I've got a lot of older games in here that aren't PPL things, including an entirely unuploaded Generations team series where it's one Pokemon from every generation. And that was probably around a 9-game series, so I want to get that one up as soon as I can. But for now, I figure I'm just going to dump some of the other odds and ends here in between PPL videos, because that could be a fun thing I could do, you know. Me against 6 Ubers, that's totally a regular thing I do every day. It really wasn't. I brought the team, I was waiting for my opponent to show up on Wi-Fi, and I took a Passerby match, and then this actually ended up happening. So let's get right into it. I'm actually, oh my god, this is so generic, so I don't normally play Ubers at all or anything like that, so it's like, yeah, I'm fighting a white Kyurem, but it's in the rain, so it's fine. It's actually, I'm not worried about it at all. It is not something I fear in the slightest. I'm actually gonna go ahead and toxic it right off the bat, because there's nothing that this thing really can do to me. I was gonna stay in for the first turn to get the rain up in the first place. It could have dropped a Draco realistically, but I just get one of those vibes that it probably wouldn't knock me out in one shot, and I really only keep Politoed around for the rain anyway, so that's fine. Gonna switch out into Ferrothorn as he goes for a Dragon Pulse. I know I can take a Fusion Flare from this thing because it's Fooball. Fooball takes hits from anything or anyone, especially in the rain. You know, it's not even a stab Fusion Flare. And this is one of the most powerful special attackers in the game outside of, like, what, Mega Mewtwo Y, I think, is its main competition there. If there's any competition to it in Standard outside of, what, Chandelure? No, I mean, Ferrothorn can take way better than that. So, turns out he's actually Shell Bell, which is kind of funny with the Toxic. I got nothing for what's going on here, really. I'm just setting up the hazards with this thing. I wanted to see how much Fusion Flare / Fire attacks in general we're gonna do. And you know what? I've got a good point of reference for how much a probably not very invested Fusion Flare is going to be doing in the rain to Ferrothorn. It's actually probably around a 2-hit KO. I was staying in on the chance that I could get a low roll on that one, because I think I was actually going to... Do I have Gyro Ball? I feel like I have Gyro Ball on this thing, and I was going to go for it, but if I did, and I just didn't, you know, that's fine, not a big deal. The one thing I learned that you can do with Versus Recorder files now is when you export them, you can actually drag them into PK Hex, and you can look at your sets and your opponent's sets. You can actually steal your opponent's Pokemon by dragging a Versus Recorder file in there. So if you're like, hey, that is a really fucking cool thing, I'm just gonna grab it right now. So I haven't done that with any of the videos, but I have done it to distinguish, like, between different games that I've had versus the same opponent. I'm like, is this our UU match, or is this our OU match, or is this our PPL match? I think I've got like 4 games against Namba, and I've definitely dropped a few in the Versus Recorder just for that. But this next part is kind of interesting because I end up going for a low kick on the white Kyurem. As I Mega, which means that I can't talk. I keep regular Swampert speed, but after I Mega, because Swift Swim is in effect, I actually outspeed the Genesect on that one, and I'm able to knock it out with a Waterfall, which I always found kind of cool about the speed mechanics. But you know what would have also been cool? Just, you know, knocking it out with Waterfall in the first place and not dealing with some cheap theatrics right here. Speaking of cheap theatrics, this man tries to Thunderbolt me because he forgot that Swampert is part ground. This happens a lot with kids that think that bringing, you know, 6 big boys to the playground is going to make them king of the playground. It doesn't. This is basically just going to be, as soon as I get the rain up again, Swampert's going to come back and do its shit again. The only thing that is not going to get, like, immediately O-code or 2-hit KO'd by anything was probably Palkia, and then will probably be Arceus. Arceus will be a task. It's not something I'm necessarily worried about at all, especially in this scenario, because it's straight up, it looks like it's just an event Arceus, especially because it tried to hit me with a Spatial Rend, and it missed. So that means I get to keep Politoed around as I switch out into Keldeo, and I know Keldeo's got a nice base special defense, and it's not stab. It's probably not even invested properly, if at all. I should be able to take it reasonably well. And would you look at that? That looks like a solid, like, 4-hit KO after leftovers, after a couple of them. And, you know, barring crits or anything like that, I'm in a good spot. So, figures might as well go ahead and go for the Scald. I would have gone for the Secret Sword, but it's a Fairy type Arceus, and I am rain boosted, so I'm slightly leaning more towards that. Which is what I'm gonna go for. Just go for the Scald. You know, if I get a burn, I do. If I don't, kind of whatever. I don't really give two shits either way. He's probably gonna end up switching out to something else in the first place. And the way I look at it right now, this is a pretty good opportunity to switch into Swampert, but I actually forget if I do or if I don't. I took this game back in February. For perspective, it's been sitting on my DS ever since. So I did do the reasonable thing, switch out into Mega Swampert, because if he wants to go for Bolt Strike, I'm going to be immune to it. I still have the rain going up for a couple more turns. I can just immediately, you know, hard check, hard counter, hard body, do whatever I want. Go for an Earthquake, drop this thing, dead, bam. Got a Reshiram sitting somewhere in here, going to take some Stealth Rock damage. As soon as he comes out, bam, dead. Got a White Kyurem sitting somewhere in here. Earthquake will probably not one-shot him, but you know I got a low kick for him. So this is pretty much going downhill at this point now that I have Swampert in at a good time. You know, I'm not going to say it would have been harder to bring it in against any of the other two, but Bolt Strike was just like, bam, bring it in, and we'll just go from there. So get to drop the Reshiram. I'm going to drop the White Kyurem right now with a low kick, and I believe that is probably going to be the game, or maybe he has Arceus left. No, he has Arceus left. Totally just kidding. But get to still knock this thing out with a low kick, and then I think we get to see a few more moves out of Arceus. How are you guys doing today? Because I got nothing else to talk about with this game. It's just a stupid... I guess to be fair, Fairy-type Arceus did come out under a rainbow, which I was not planning with the background, but it's kind of funny. Gets go for a Rain Boosted Waterfall here, and then I think the Rain wears out, so he actually gets 2 hits off in a row against me. Spatial Run is not going to do anything to Mega Swampert. This thing is the real truck on wheels. Forget what I said. Truck on wheels. A truck is already on wheels. I need help. This is a brick wall on wheel. This is what on one wheel? No, on multiple wheels. That is what Mega Swampert is. This thing's very bulky and pretty hard to take out. As you can see, I took a Spatial Rend and a Fairy-type Judgment from Arceus. And I'm still looking at a pretty good range of HP. And that might have been the 6. We didn't even see Kabutops. Oh no, I lost Ferrothorn. I totally lost Ferrothorn to a Fusion Flare. But I think that was the only poke I lost. So, anyway, that was Uber's content. Me versus Ubers. So, if you need something to show to somebody that's like, yeah, I got Ubers that can pop you, you can just be like, hey, no, that's not how that works. Here's this guy that brought 6 of them, and he lost. I do this once on a blue moon. If you guys don't like it, I'm sorry. I thought it was funny, so that's why I saved it. If you guys did enjoy it, though, you can leave a like rating, comment, subscribe, do your thing. I'm also messing with more Versus Recorder backgrounds and music and stuff as well, which is also kind of why I wanted to upload this to see how this one looks. So, oh shit, I ran out of footage there. That sucks. Anyways, I think that's the cue for me to stop talking, so I'll see you guys later. Bye!